No, we're not. Okay. One guy that's speaking, but it's still going.
That's good, it's,
Okay. No, I have the outline and I have the. Fourth guy, I don't know this. Email this? Yes, I didn't check the email. Okay. I was. Taking pictures and running around, so that.
we're gonna go. It's-
All right, let's call the meeting to order. Galloway. Yeah, like Chris does. Call the meeting to order at, I guess it's 6:02 or whatever. Say 6 o'clock, August 15, 2024, at the town hall upstairs. Need a motion to adopt the agenda that was presented. So moved. Are there any additions or corrections or any issues? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We have the minutes of July 15, 2024 to approve. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes as presented? If there are not, I can entertain a motion to accept those minutes. You got that order?
Yeah.
Got a second?
Yeah.
Right. All in favor of the minute, approving the minutes of July 15, 2024, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Be for the second. This,
I asked for that.
okay, you want,
Sure. I asked, Morgan to put it on the agenda because, Skip Loud had sent us as a board, a couple of emails, and he sent me another email and did not hear from the board. Morgan had sent out his, emails to the board and also to Kobe. And I asked, Skip if he'd be willing to come and just discuss some of the concerns. His emails are right on top, right on spot, so.
Just like that quick, huh?
Yeah. And I apologize, and I just wanna, as a board member, I know I apologize to you that we didn't get back to you, but I think the board as a whole does apologize for not.
Oh, well, that's very nice. I know you're busy like everybody. But I just tried to, because of the controversy about the beaver receiver on Marshall Road, I just tried to lay out the history, as I've done before to the board of our program, which really began in earnest in 2001, but began with my people's attempts at protecting a culvert as a teenager on our property in Capitol Road in the 1970s. Probably the primary reason I've gone into this work is because wetlands are really important. And if you can't protect the infrastructure on the you have to.
no, go ahead, Ken.
You have to kill beavers, so it's good to have beavers around for many reasons. Wetlands, the wetlands they create act as for flood abatement, an issue that's kind of important in this town. And because they act as sponges, and then water quality, they really capture fine sediments and help purify downstream water. And then they're just fantastic wildlife habitat. And on occasion, when they're beside a road, they can also act as fire ponds. And so when I evaluated that site, as John and Joe and Kathy may remember, because we had an in-depth discussion about it.
Right.
I just said, there's an opportunity here to both protect the road and to create a roadside wetland and perhaps a fire pond. And so you guys unanimously approved that strategy, and I implemented it. And it's about 4 feet of water. Now, whether that's enough to draw water, with a fire truck or not, I don't know. I would hope it would be. And if it's not, maybe there's something we can do to make that more possible, but. So yeah, it was working, exactly as we intended it. I mean, this is select board policy. I was just an employee of you guys as a contractor. So it was working perfectly, and now it's not in very good shape, let's say. And another thing I should just add is that it's illegal to kill beavers for one thing, without special permission from the state outside of the trapping season. And it's also illegal to drain wetlands if it's not necessary, particularly if you're using heavy equipment, so.
Thanks.
I'd be glad to take any questions, so.
I had an opportunity yesterday, my husband and I, Skip asked us to look at the wetlands over by Hinkley Brook that got clogged. And it's amazing to watch Skip work. The beaver had made a dam inside the culvert, which was right on top of the road underneath. And I learned a lot. It's a lot of work to manage and control those beavers. And the stuff that Skip was pulling out was amazing. They actually built a dam in the middle, underneath the culvert, inside the culvert, under the road. But he pulled it all out, and I got a little worried because the water kept going through the culvert as fast as it could. And I was really worried for you. But it was an experience, and I thank you for letting us come out and watch what you were doing. And I know your heart and soul is preserving those wetlands. And you just gave us a short history of the reasons why we shouldn't disturb them. Unless there was some real serious concern or issue, but we value your work, and we hope that you're going to continue to
I
take
appreciate
care of
that,
that.
Kathy. If I might add, that it's also really, in addition to the need to really extirpate all beavers in the general vicinity, to protect the culvert without using a flow device. That's very difficult to do. But it also is obviously very bad ecologically and hydrologically. But, and so the culverts are beaver magnets. They'll always dam those. It's a small hole in a giant man-made dam. So it's also really inefficient because the first beaver that comes along will clog the culvert. So we've eliminated most of that process now in Grafton, for 20 years roughly. And I think it saved a lot of money in Grafton. I would hope would be really proud of it. As far as I know, it's a town with the best, longest program of any town in the world. And so those values, often go unseen and unnoticed, kind of like the values of wetlands. It's the same sort of thing, but they're there. And I appreciate the support of this select board and all the select boards over the decades. And
So when a culvert gets clogged, it's really a hand job. You gotta get in the water and you really have to pull out all that stuff.
yeah, speaking of that, because somebody could say that's an example of a flood device failing. But every now and then the beavers will find a little hole in the fence or something, and that's what happened. And I will find that hole and make sure that doesn't continue to happen.
So do you, along with the town crew, try to maintain the wetlands in terms of where the culvert might be clogged or not?
Well, I've done most of it
You've
over
done
the
it.
decades, yeah. But my office stands, I've done a lot of trainings for a long time, and my flow devices are really good, with state of the art, and so I'd be more than happy to work with the road crew if they ever want to learn some more about it.
Well, I think that's something that really should happen. If you're willing to work with the road crew, I think that makes life much better for the town and for everybody else.
Yeah. One of the qualities they have, they're young and energetic. That quality is starting to fade. I don't know about the rest of the guys, but, you know, so it's important that we pass on the program. And keep it going. And,
Well, thank you, Skip, for coming.
you're welcome.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments?
No, I just think that we should have some kind of a training program, a meeting or whatever. Put the road through at your, you know, when you have the time. For an hour or whatever it takes, I think that would go a long way. To keeping things good, let's put it that way.
Takes quite a while. I'm still learning after 30 years, so there's a lot to it, but I'd be glad to start that process.
No, I mean, I think it's even more important that you explain why it works and how it works.
Yeah.
And why it's needed, and so, I mean, we're gonna have constant problems with beavers, you know. I haven't seen all the ones, but the ones up on Hinkley Brook there and whatever, I mean, they work very well.
Yeah, well. People come from all around to see the Grafton's program. It's good, it's getting a reputation. So
And we wanna keep it,
hopefully keep it going. Yeah,
and we wanna keep it that way.
thank you.
Anybody have anything else? Well, thank you for coming.
Thanks.
You're welcome, Joe. Thank you.
We need to appoint. The library trustee, even though, we don't vote it, but we have to, that's one of our duties. You have,
Yeah, Kathleen Paget was on the board of trustees for the library, and she has since resigned. So the library board met and they recommended appointing Galen Johnson to fulfill her term, and then it would go on the ballot for the next town meeting. So she was just requesting that the select board officially appoint Galen Johnson as a trustee for the Grafton board.
if nobody has any objection, somebody make a motion to appoint him. Second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of appointing Joanne Johnson to the library board, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Colby, you're up now.
The new loader comes in on Wednesday. Supposed to be here Wednesday at least. Stagecoach, we are halfway through that grant now. And just regular grading right now. That's about it for us, for all the excitement.
What about the hydro seeder?
Hydro seeder, we're supposed to seed everything that we, seed and mulch technically, everything that we touch with the excavator or any kind of ditch work or anything inside the road. And we don't have, our hydro seeder that we have is a homemade one and it's never worked. And we've been messing with it since I started here, and it's been almost 2 years now. We still can't get it to work. And really, you have to mulch it. And it's either we use bale mulch or we hydro seed. There are two options. And bale mulching, we can't afford to do. It's $5 a bale for hay, and you can only get so far with a bale of hay.
Yeah, the only issue is that right now we're kind of tight on money, and I don't know if that's available, or there's money available in the program that we have.
Yes,
Did you talk to, how much is this thing costing anyway?
about 10 grand.
Yeah, have you talked to Hardy about this?
About Hardy, I have not talked to him about it yet. I just had brought it up a couple times to a couple different people, just seeing what the idea, the feeling of it is.
Well, I think we need to talk to Hardy just to see whether or not we can do it, and if we can't, and we can't do it this year, we'll have to put it in for, when we do the capital budget next year.
Is this something we can rent?
Can you rent one or borrow one?
So if you, this has been going on for a couple of years, what have you been doing?
We've been just
Yeah.
putting grass seed down and
Like,
really for the grant work, we're supposed to take a pic, when we turn our grant work in, we're supposed to have a picture of it mulched.
Okay,
And none of the pictures that we turned in, luckily so far we got away with it. But we are sending pictures without the grant work technically finished.
I see, so you can seed it but not mulch it.
I can see it, but not mulch it, and so. It's just kind of a no-no to the state, from the state.
Yeah.
So,
So you're saying mulch is $5 a bag?
it's about $12 a
Yeah,
day. And plus I gotta get a mulcher rent a mulcher, and by the time you do that, you're well over. You mean,
Not 10,000.
2 years worth, no, but 2 years worth of renting. A mulcher and bales, you're talking the price of buying a hydro seeder. Bale of hydro seed goes a lot longer than a bale of. Hay.
Yeah.
I can get about 100 yards out of 2 bales of hydro seed, and I get about 10 yards with 2 bales of. Or probably more 10 yards, but.
Well, I would talk
maybe
to Hardy,
15.
I would talk to Hardy and see if there's some way that we can afford this thing. I mean, I can't speak on Hardy. He's the capital budget guru, so, you know. And, you know, right now, I don't know how Kim's still doing it, but we'll see. We got the loader coming in, so that's another big check we have to write,
Should be here Wednesday morning.
yeah, so.
This is the hydro seeder that Danny built.
They tried to build them. It never actually worked. The one, so a regular hydro seeder has turbines in it and it's a giant. Well, it's pretty much a giant auger that runs up the whole center of it, and it stirs the bales and mixes it all up. And what we have is a jet system, and the jet system doesn't have enough power to
So
run.
it gets clogged.
Yeah, it gets clogged, it doesn't have enough power to cycle it. And we're running a 3-inch mud pump on it and a 2-inch mud pump on it, and it still doesn't have enough power to run it.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
The hydro seeder at NJS, this is 2 of them there, the old one and the newer one.
I don't know, is there? I don't know.
Well, I know we got a new one, I just wondered if there was, did you ever get in touch with MJS?
Well, you know, why don't you talk to Hardy and then we'll talk about this on the next meeting. Anything else?
You want to talk about Oliver Shen's driveway?
Yes. You wanna explain what's happening?
Yeah, sure. I'm Oliver Shem. I live at 108. Route 120 is on Main Street, but I'm right there where the road and the river come right together. And my grandmother owned the house before, and there's always been an issue with water from the road going into the property and eroding it. So back in 2000, I raised the entire driveway, so the water was going directly into the barn. And that was all leveled. Where we are now is that there is a trough that's been created. And in the subsequent years, it's continued to erode. And because of the amount of rain that is now happening in these past years, it's speeding up. And what's happening is that the apron that they put on there every time they repave the road has been included in this sort of ravine that's starting to happen, strong word ravine. But it's also starting to deteriorate the road, the cracks that are happening in the road. It's a problem it's gonna affect the entire area. You know, thinking, we talked about short-term and long-term solutions, but it's always gonna be an issue until we figure out where to put this water. It rains really hard, it's standing water right from the property, and people drive by. Huge splashes of water hit the house, and we gotta figure out where to direct this water without eroding the side of the bank.
So there's no drain.
There's no drain, there was a drain, I remember. But it was clogged. And it was one of the old ones, in like the teens, the terracotta pipes would fit together, and it went in between the old barn and the ice house. But it never properly drained.
Is that something you guys put in or the town put in or?
I don't know, I'm assuming it was the town because it was like a metal grate. It was one of the cast iron.
How long ago was this, you think?
I mean. When I covered it over because it was not.
No, when the drain was put in.
I don't know when they were using those terracotta pipes. I'm assuming turn of the century, 1920,
Well, long time,
long time ago.
because I don't remember anything of that. And then, well, what's the fix called, man? I mean,
No,
we can't repave the road right
We
now.
can, there's two different, well, repaving is not gonna fix anything, I can do a short-term fix, which is gonna be re-go up through there with the excavator and pull the berm off in front of his stone wall. And then put Sure-Pack in at the edge of the road to kind of level it back out. Or we could put a drain in, the drain's gonna cost a lot more, but. I don't know how long the Sure-Pack, I mean, you probably get a couple of years out of Sure-Pack and then it might do it again. So. I mean, it's kind of your guys' decision what you wanna do there.
Well, it's kind of the town's responsibility, I think.
It is water running down the side of the road that does dump into the driveway, and that's what is causing it, but. I can either do a temporary fix or I can. I mean, you could put a DI in, but you're talking a lot more work into it, so.
Well, I'd fix it right over and put a drain in it.
You wanna put a drain in?
Put the shirt back down and it rains hard,
Yeah.
it's gonna wash the shirt back right down. It's not gonna melt anything, huh?
I can order a concrete catch basin and.
Yeah.
That's what I would do, I mean, the South Fall, there's no reason why they have to put up with the water going there.
It would probably have to be right at the end of that stone wall. I don't wanna touch the stone wall, cause then you have the stone wall rebuilt, but.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could put one in there, right? So as soon as it gets back to the end of the stone wall, it dumps right into it and then it runs down through the driveway, down underneath the driveway.
So how long would that be take to order it and then do the job?
EJ Prescott probably they could make it and it would probably take a week or two to get it. They probably already have it. It just, I have to get the grant work done first before I can do it. I probably have another 2 to 3 weeks of grant work left. It's due in when is it due?
End of September.
Yeah, I'd like to get, as soon as I get that done, I could jump on something, I could jump on that.
Can you live with that?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It's
Then
been
why
a
don't you do
continued
that?
problem. It's great to be able to talk.
First,
about it.
wet up and then put the catch basin and.
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, I get all of it and have it going. It shouldn't be too bad to put in,
So put it on your schedule.
yeah.
I see Lane was grading today.
Yep,
He did a good job, but a little
he's getting
slow.
good, he's getting good, takes his time, I told him, take his time, rather take longer than.
Yeah, no, he did a good
That's
job.
good.
Is he gonna finish the rest of 121?
What David did, the last section of 121 that hasn't been done in the last couple weeks is, just the front grapes. And, so will probably do that tomorrow, and then, he'll be on Red Orchard Road and Otis Road tomorrow also.
Yeah, no, it looked good, he's doing good.
Yeah, he's getting real good at it.
Yeah. Anything else in the highway department?
Mowing,
I wanna blast 2 roads we have left are Stagecoach and Hall Ranch. And a little bit of Cabell Road, he might have finished Cabell Road on Thursday, I forgot to ask him. But I did see he did started a pass on Stagecoach, so I'm guessing it's just Stagecoach and Hall Ranch that are left.
so you're gonna come back through on 121,
We'll probably do the blacktop one more time before the end of the year.
starting Logan.
Yeah, it probably won't be until things are not growing anymore, but. We're gonna start hauling gravel and then. We have 800 or 900 yards of our 3,000 yards to come in right now.
Yeah, pretty soon. We're
Yeah,
in August.
yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. Anything else? Toby? Okay. Kim, you're on again with the JP's thing?
Okay, this is, from the state of Vermont election division. And in order for us to have our JPs listed on the November 5th ballot, which will be on the backside. We have to get the legislative body approval because the state is sending every single ballot to every single active voter. So they'll also receive our local JPs, so they need our local legislative body to approve it going through. And those will be printed, like I said, the 16th is their deadline, 23rd is the deadline for me to get them to them, and we'll have them in print before the election of November 5th. So I just need a motion and approval to let the election division put our JPs on the backside of our general election ballots.
Somebody make a motion to accept it. John's accepted in second,
Second.
Adam? Okay. Just, that's it.
That's it, yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. You have anything else?
I started a conversation with Eli from, our bond council. I contacted him last Friday. I wanna begin, with, putting through a bond anticipated note, which would be a line of credit with the anticipation of once everything's paid for, turning that line of credit into an actual bond, which I need an Australian ballot vote for that to happen. So, it's a process of up to, probably a month to a month and a half before we can get the verbiage from the bond council. We're looking at maybe possibly September to get the wording and the warning to come to you guys for approval. 30 days out, no more than 40, 30, no more than 40 from the warning, we can have a Australian ballot vote, and I'm hoping to do that November 5th.
That's election day.
At an election day, otherwise we have to hold another all-day 9 to 7 election just for that one vote. And that's where I was telling you, it's gonna get confusing, because we're gonna have multiples now. For ballots. But, I'm gonna hear more from him tomorrow, ask him to proceed and start the verbiage for it and begin the process. Once we do the anticipated note, the bank will give us a line of credit. I can start paying for the bridge through the line of credit, since we've already gone through what we had for reserve. We had 275 reserve. I've already paid the state 350. So we've beaten away some of our unassigned funds and been weeding off of the capital budget. So this right here, I can start paying through the line of credit. And then when the bridge is said and done, we'll have a final number, then we turn it into a bond for however length of time, usually they're 15 years, I think the bond bank likes to go. Interest rate. They quoted us a couple months ago, could be 5 or 6%.
Did we get any FEMA money yet?
We haven't since the last time I talked, so, Morgan, I think we figure we still have about 250,000 left to come in from FEMA money. So we've been doing good. The state did on class 2 and 3 roads. Normally we get quarterly installments for that, and they gave us all 4 quarters last week. The state's trying to help because so many towns are being flooded. They're giving us those quarterlies all in one.
Oh, good.
Yeah, all at once, so we're not gonna get another quarterly. So it's helped us because you're chipping away at that also without having to dig into any funding from the banks.
Does anybody have any news about the bridge other than what we get in this, the propaganda they send us each week?
I haven't, we just had asked you the village for an update, we're still standing at the 9,052,000, so that's 950,000 of our 10%. When we do vote, not only are we're gonna take the dollar amount we should owe, minus what I've already paid, minus what our reserve was, but add in the contingency of 5% that they said could be on it, which is like another $33,000. In the note for anticipation. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna come to that, but we have to have the big picture and then narrow it down.
Well, they set the steel, so then moving along.
They said November that we should be able to start using the bridge. But it could take 6 months to a year before we get the final bill.
Right,
from them.
Okay, anything else there?
First, tax installment is due August 15th. We have had quite a few that have actually paid in full, so that's been really nice. Audit, I've been working on it, the professional audit sent us our, 42 checklist. I got that completed and sent off to them, and they're due here on, which you might wanna mark down, I believe Thursday, the 29th and the 30th, is that a Thursday, Friday, in August? They always book 2 days, they usually are only here 1 day. So, that Thursday, if any of you wanna pop in and introduce yourself or say hi to our auditors, I believe I'm gonna have Janelle and Jenna. And they spend the whole day there. Going over everything that I sent them, and then they individually talk to us in the office. So that's been happening, a lot's been happening, but that's it.
We have cameras.
Yes, that's right, we have new security cameras, right now installed on our front porch. So we can see what comes in. And who's parked here, and it also gives a view, we've got one at the top that gives a view of, Townsend Road. And some of Main Street, which will help Colby to be able to tell what the weather's looking like here. 'Cause believe it or not, there's a difference between even my house and here. And then 4 more are gonna be installed, at the town garage, once we get the wires tomorrow. And all that is, from safety grant. So we'll have cameras located all around the town shed and the fuel depot. For security.
Any questions? If not, move on. Committee reports, Kim, you wanna explain the cemetery thing, because
Sure.
you explained it to me, but you can do a better job than I.
So, actually, I think I've kind of resolved the issue,
But wait a minute, before you know, we had hired, Mike Waysville.
Yeah.
To repair all the stones, and he did half of them. And he was going to start the other one because of the workers' compensation thing. We'll put him on hold until tonight.
yep, he completed, $2,800 worth of them last year. He still has Middletown as his main cemetery left to do, which was about 30 stones, he said. To finish up, so he popped in, not knowing that in the meantime, we've been talking about this whole workers' comp situation. And prior to that, him stopping in for us to try and figure out the workers' comp, because he does not carry workers' comp. But in Hennessy also does stone repair. But in the meantime, we already have Mike Blaisville is an employee because he is our constable. So he is listed under our workers' comp already. And he will be getting a W-2 if he were to continue to work. He's got about $5,000 more to finish the stuff. So it's not like we need to have extra approval because he's already on our employee list. We already cover him for workers' comp, so my thought is to continue and let him finish the job he started.
I agree.
Is he doing it though, or is
He's
one of his
doing-
workers doing it?
He's doing almost all of it. Very seldom he says doesn't have to do something if it's a stone that's too big. There is one that he says he's not touching, that's in the village, it's just huge, way too big. The future, moving forward, I'm gonna talk to Austin. I think what we might do is try to go with, Ben and Hennessy. And what they're gonna do is they'll work with Austin and on a yearly basis, have Austin kind of go around, do an inventory. This hasn't been done in the 20 years I've been there, that all of a sudden our stones need fixing. And we came up with almost 60 stones that need fixing. So it's better to do it on a yearly basis and have 1 or 2 or 5 done rather than having to do this 50 to 60 all at once. And they do have their workers' comp and they can take it from there. But that would be my suggestion in the future, but for now, we did have Mike booked. So I think, personally, I think he'd be okay because he is under our personnel already.
I think you're right.
Anybody have any questions on that or concerns?
Anyone?
I have a question about, is the fence repaired? I have a few.
No, the fence,
Sorry, I was looking at the weather.
they're working on the fence, they've got the thing half built, they're gonna be painting it and putting it back, and they're gonna straighten up the gate. So the gate is not going like this anymore, so it looks like a gate,
We're just doing it on rainy days at the moment, trying to.
but it's in the works. Okay. Morgan, on what website?
Oh, before we do that, I'll just give a quick update on the July flood.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. Bill and I met with FEMA again today just to get an update and we continue to answer, they have some small questions here and there. So we continue to answer those and our projects are moving through the queue. For the state, the Fed highways, those, I got a note that all of the paperwork was submitted for it about 2 weeks ago, so just hoping that payment will come through on our end any day. So things are still happening, there's not a lost time, but we're moving forward. Any questions on that?
Do they make any commitment on payment when it can't happen
They probably will never commit to.
or any general?
Not really, we have gotten paid some, but yeah, a lot of it, they're not standing.
Did Bill know why we got paid for one project that we haven't done?
We did not have an answer for that. But we didn't really want to deny the funds coming in, so.
Well, we didn't have a choice, because it went on automatically until I checked it down, and I just accepted it.
So all the paperwork and all the project.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And so it's a long process. They review everything and come up with absurd questions.
Thank you for your work.
Thanks. So the website, I think we can all agree that it's very old and hard to maneuver. And so it's been something that I've kind of tossed around in my head for a while. I think, and after talking to a few community members, it kind of needs like a good refresh. And that's something that's definitely outside of my wheelhouse. So I was thinking about potentially hiring a company and saying, this is the amount of money that we have. Hopefully we can get pretty far with that. However, I just wanted to get kind of the select board's feeling on doing an upgrade to the website, and then if so, kind of what dollar amount would we be able to work within? I don't think anything crazy needs to be done. But even just finding the agendas for these meetings is nearly impossible. So, yeah, it's not urgent, but
I think
it's
we should take a look at our website and update it.
for sure, yeah.
Do we have any money in the budget to do that?
No, mostly look right into the penny for the IT support that we have, that we use and the programs that we use, but. Once again, you can roll the budget and just comes out of the general and the bottom line, but.
And again, it's not something that needs to be done right away, but just kind of an idea.
Do you have a financial number?
I don't, and the only reason I don't is because I'm not really sure what to work within. You know, it's hard to talk to a company and say, my budget's unlimited, I don't really know what the price is, you know.
There is one company that would do it. Piecemeal. A
Yeah.
little at a time until we say stop.
Right,
So that's kind of where we're wondering, what is our span for telling them to stop?
well, I mean, I don't think anybody here has an objection, I think just, let's figure out how much it's gonna cost, how much we gotta spend, and then.
Even if we just ask for, a complete job proposal, I mean, let's pie in the sky. And then maybe a couple of levels down or something, and at least get some idea.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it.
Do we have any other business? Okay, any public comment? That being said, the next regular meeting is. Well, it's not August fifth.
Sorry, I made a
It's,
mistake.
Well, it's
It's the 19th, Monday, the 19th.
Monday the 19th. At here at 6 p.m. We have an executive session to deal with, evaluation of employees. Thank you all for coming. Somebody make a motion to go. Into executive
No problem.
Well, somebody make, someone. Second. Second, okay.